Have you ever noticed how, like, the most dangerous weapons aren't always made of steel or, gunpowder?
Oh, for sure.
Sometimes they're just vowels and consonants, like a well-timed lie or a whispered secret. So today we're taking a deep dive into Psalm 52 from the English Standard Version of the Bible.
Right, and our mission here is really to extract some profound insights about how rhetoric can be weaponized, and more importantly, how you can find stability when the world just feels like it's crashing down.
Exactly. And we should make it clear right up front, we're looking at this ancient literature impartially. We're not endorsing a specific theological viewpoint here.
No, not at all. We're just analyzing the text's powerful imagery and really the structural contrasts of how it handles power. It's basically a masterclass in imagery.
Okay, let's unpack this. The text gives us the backstory right in the header. It's labeled a maskil.
Which is likely a musical or liturgical term.
Right, and it's written by David, triggered by this massive betrayal. So a guy named Doeg the Edomite went to King Saul and essentially said, hey, David has come to the house of Ahimelech.
And to really understand the stakes there, you have to realize Doeg wasn't just, gossiping.
He wasn't just casually chatting.
Exactly. He was deliberately feeding information to a deeply paranoid King Saul. By revealing that David was being sheltered by priests, Doeg was weaponizing this intelligence to trigger a literal massacre. I mean, he knew exactly what he was doing.
Wow. And the tongue isn't just an organ of speech here, right? The
Yeah.
text treats it as a tactical weapon. Like, it says the villain's tongue plots destruction and is like a sharp razor.
Right, it's premeditated violence.
Yeah, it claims they love, quote, words that devour.
What's fascinating here is that visceral image, right? Words that devour. Because deceit isn't framed as just incorrect information.
Right.
It's this actively consuming force that eats away at reality, at relationships, and just the very fabric of trust. But then the theme pivots sharply in verse 5 to the consequence of that devouring deceit.
The pushback starts.
Yeah, the language shifts from that microscopic, razor-sharp cutting to just catastrophic demolition. The text says, God will break you down forever, snatch and tear you from your tent, and literally uproot you from the land of the living.
Okay, wait. You call it a catastrophic demolition, but I need to challenge that sort of clinical reading for a second.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, looking at verses 6 and 7, it seems almost cruel. The quote-unquote righteous see this sudden uprooting they fear, and then they actually laugh at him.
They do, yeah.
They point and say, see the man who would not make God his refuge. I mean, isn't it a bit jarring to hear the good guy standing around laughing at someone's downfall?
It is jarring. I mean, we often expect ancient religious texts to be completely sanitized, filled with just this pious serenity.
Right, like everyone is just peaceful.
Exactly. But this exposes a raw human emotion within the text. It's the nervous, almost absurd relief of seeing a terrifying, devouring tyrant finally brought down by his own hubris.
Okay, so it's less of a villainous, mocking cackle and more like the frantic relief of waking up from a nightmare.
That captures it perfectly. And while the tyrant is violently snatched from his tent, the author pictures himself as the exact opposite in verse 8. He describes himself as being rooted, like a green olive tree in the house of God, waiting for God's good name.
I want to pause on that image. A green olive tree, alive, fruitful, safe, indoors.
Well, it goes deeper than just being alive. Unlike a tent that can be easily dismantled and blown away.
Sure, a tent is temporary.
Right. An olive tree in the ancient Near East was a multi-generational investment. They live for centuries, they survive brutal droughts, and they produce incredibly valuable oil.
Oh, wow.
So it's the ultimate thematic contrast. You have the tyrant's fast, destructive razor versus the slow, unshakable permanence of an ancient tree.
So wrapping this up, we travel from the chaotic, slicing violence of a devouring tongue all the way to the deep-rooted, peaceful silence of a green olive tree.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the entire poem is suspended between two identical concepts. Look at the very beginning, the phrase, the steadfast love of God endures all the day. And then near the end, it says, I trust in the steadfast love of God forever and ever.
Oh, so it's the anchor.
Yes. That phrase acts as the text's structural anchor. It connects directly to you, the listener. The text asks you to reflect on where you find your own stability. Is it in fleeting things like abundant riches or something enduring?
That is such a powerful question. And here's where it gets really interesting, leaving us with one final provocative thought for you to chew on today.
I love these. Go for it.
Given the text's intense focus on words that devour, could the deepest warning be that deceit is inherently self-consuming?
Oh, that's a wild thought.
Right. meaning those who use words as weapons ultimately uproot themselves from within?